Welcome to Foodie Passport, a show about international food trends that have made it big in America. I'm Austin Maddox.
I'm Ran Tao.
I'm Jia Huiling.
For our first episode, we will talk about how Asian cuisine has made an impact on American food culture. The rich cultural diversity in Los Angeles has definitely had an impact on the food that we eat here, especially with the Asian American community. Some of my favorite foods come from this community that's made an impact on Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's for true. I'm come from China, and here there's many Asian restaurants that I haven't expected before. It's like we have Thai food, we have Korean barbecue, and we also have dim sum restaurant here. There's many different variety restaurants from different regions. I think we are staying in the food paradise.
Yeah, I agree. And there's a lot of different food trucks and fusion restaurants that people put their own twist on traditional cuisine a lot too.
But there are also more authentic experiences too. For example, there is a restaurant I will go to when I miss my hometown Chongqing. They serve hot pot, a meal originally made to give both men energy, and it gradually developed into a comfort and popular food that everyone enjoys. I visited the restaurant the other day and talked to their owner. Let's take a look. Living in Los Angeles and want to try some authentic Chinese food? How about spicy hot pot? After becoming viral in China, hot pot's presence is growing in Los Angeles. Shancheng Lamei's is one of the most popular hot pot restaurants to open up in LA. The restaurant is a great example of traditional Chinese flavors. The first two words of its name, Shancheng, means a mountainous city, and it's also the nickname of the city where hot pot originated, Chongqing.
就是火锅的起源呢，最早是在重庆的沿江一带，是由这码头的那个纤夫，还有一些船夫啊，他们从屠宰场，屠宰场里面的一些那个商贩里面买到了一些牛肚啊，还有说牛碎这些东西，然后他们切碎之后呢，放在一个就是用麻辣的，还有说花椒的一些锅里面卤汁儿里面去煮。火锅这个东西，它吃了之后，像牛肚啊，还有黄喉啊这些毛肚这些它属于内脏嘛，内脏它会产生一种高热量。
Without exception, every Chongqing native is obsessed with this spicy food. So am I. So here is a tutorial on how to enjoy hot pot. So today I'm going to show you how to make the authentic spicy sauce. In the sauce, we have two basic elements. The first one is a sesame oil. And this is necessary because it can help you to cool down the hot food from the boiled pot. And then is a minced garlic, and this is also important because it helps to sterilize in case your food is not completely cooked in the pot. And now our authentic spicy sauce is finished. Hold on, there is one more step, the food itself. There are meats or offals first to absorb flavor, so the soup base will become tastier and more fragrant. And there are also fresh vegetables like mushrooms and potatoes that are used in hot pot. Shancheng Lamei's, which opened in March of this year, has grown in popularity gradually. The manager Arthur Zhao believes the secret is staying true to traditional flavors.
还有一些配料，这些我们都是选用说中国国内最好的一些东西，包括在美国这边的食材，我们选择的也都是最好的。
Since the authentic flavors of Chongqing have been introduced to LA, the restaurant has attracted not only curious Angelenos, but also international students who are homesick for their local cuisine.
Because I'm from Chengdu, this is like my hometown style Chinese food, and it's very easy to gather people around the pot, so people can communicate, can eat together, and can talk to each other. So I feel it's a very nice format to introduce a lot of friends from different backgrounds together. That's why I chose here.
It's very clear that hot pot with its spicy flavors provides a new choice for foodies who want to try some authentic Chinese cuisine. For Annabert Media, I'm Ran Tao. You know what? All my friends are obsessed with hot pot, and we will go to it every week.
I could really use some right now with the weather getting colder.
Yes, I love hot pot, but that is so spicy for Chongqing hot pot. But you know what? There's so different kinds of hot pot that I can eat non-spicy. So I go to the hot pot restaurant with Ron every week.
But you know, Asian influence on food doesn't end at the dinner table. It's now reached the internet with this strangely captivating food trend on YouTube called mukbang. Check it out.
Food
is fun to watch. From cooking shows to baking competitions, people have loved watching others engage with food for decades. But a new trend on the internet has taken the pleasure of watching food to the extreme. Mukbang is a type of video that originated in South Korea. It involves YouTubers recording themselves eating large amounts of food for their viewers to watch. The trend has spread across the world, garnering millions of views every day. Hong and Julie are Canadian YouTubers who decided to try making mukbang videos as a way to get more subscribers.
We saw the trend, like mukbangs, that were just an eating show, and we kind of liked watching them too. For some reason, we didn't really understand why.
I love watching people eat.
Yeah, and then we just decided maybe we'll try doing some videos that are trending rather than just vlogs. And then it started to really pick up in our subscribers and our views. So then we started to make more mukbangs.
The fact is, our #1 watch mukbang video has around 26,000 views. It might not seem like a lot. It's a lot to us,
Yeah.
right? In comparison, our vlogs would have an average of like 300 views.
Sometimes even less.
It's no question that these videos are popular. People spend hours on YouTube watching others practically eat their weight in food. So I was wondering, why do people like watching these videos, and are there any negative health effects as a result? I asked clinical psychologist Dr. Danielle McCurdy, who specializes in food and eating disorders, what she thinks.
I think with this particular phenomenon, there may be just some kind of living vicariously or sort of like watching a car accident. Some people said it helped them get over eating issues or eating alone fears or provided them with social contact.
While watching mukbangs might be satisfying for viewers, Dr. McCurdy is worried about what eating so much can do to those making the videos.
Some of the immediate physical concerns I have about people doing this are, when you consume that much food, 10,000 or more calories, your stomach gets quite distended. And this can lead to gastritis, which is basically an inflammation and infection of the stomach lining, which is pretty painful and dangerous, ulcers.
Hong and Julie agree that binge eating doesn't always make them feel good, but being on camera adds extra pressure.
Sometimes I just overeat because I feel like I'm supposed to on the video.
And no, it feels like you're supposed to finish your food, or else
Yeah.
like you can't complete the video or something like that. That's what, like, I don't know, there's like a kind of like a pressure that I feel when I'm filming a mukbang. Because if it were just in real life and we weren't filming it, I would just eat it and then I'd leave some leftovers for tomorrow or something like that.
So although mukbang videos seem like they're just a random trend, they actually can say a lot about our relationship to food, whether you're on camera or pressing play. At first, I didn't like watching mukbang videos at all. But after talking to those YouTubers, I kind of see the appeal.
I agree. Mukbang seems like something that anyone can do no matter where they're from. But come on, how can they stay in shape after eating so much? They really should make a video about this, right?
Yes, I think so. I watched a mukbang video before that the girl ate a tons of sushi before. That is so crazy. It made me think about how much people in Los Angeles love sushi. It is one of the Asian food that has become the most popular in the US. We went to one of the most popular sushi restaurants in the country. Let's see why they're so popular. Sushi Ginza Onodera, a 2 Michelin star restaurant, has location in New York City, Tokyo, and Los Angeles. By following traditional Japanese technique called adomai, Chef Matsuki shared this food culture in America.
私は日本の東京にある銀座という場所で今でだいたい15年ぐらいですかね。そして私は今ロサンゼルスの方を立ち上げて、そこで私は日本で学んだ技術をですね、伝統的な方法、いわゆる江戸前寿司ですね、そういった方法でお寿司を作っております。
The adomai technique was created more than 115 years before the refrigeration was invented. Many sushi dishes require to keep the fish as fresh as possible all the way from Hokkaido, Japan market to Los Angeles. Many famous chefs like Yuhi Matsuki still use adomai to keep the flavors fresh and tender.
先人から受け取ったものを必ず後世に伝える。 それが日本の文化でありますので、じゃあ国が変わったからといってじゃあそこを手を抜いていいのかというのは僕は違うと思いますので、日本で修行した技術をしっかりと現地で学びたいという、アメリカでしたらアメリカ人の若いシェフたちにしっかり教えていって、今度は日本から世界へという技術を伝授していきたいなと思っております。
Matsuski believes that it is very important to share his food culture and pass on his traditional technique to the next generation around the world. For Annabert Media, I'm Jiahui Ling.
Okay, one thing about this show is that it really makes you hungry, and all the sushi looked so good.
Yes, I think that place is very deserved to Michelin.
Sushi is definitely one of my favorite foods. I want to go to Japan one day and try it there. So we have a guest with us today who is very familiar with Asian cuisine and why it's had so much success in the US. He's written about food for the Marshall Food blog and is a former editor-in-chief of the Daily Trojan. Please welcome Eddie Kim. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me, guys. Glad to be here.
Welcome.
Yeah, so you know a lot about food, especially about food downtown. What are some of your favorite Asian food places to go to?
Well, I think that there are so many types of Asian cuisine in this city that it's almost endless, right? Any type of nationality that you can think of, there's probably a great place that's representative of that food culture. I mean, I think Koreatown being, I'm Korean American, and the fact that it's the biggest density of Korean immigrants outside of Korea itself, it says a lot about what you can find there. And one of my places is a real classic. It's a place called Hamji Park. And what they do is, barbecue pork ribs on sizzling platters and big traditional pork neck stews. It can seem a little unusual because you're sharing like a communal pot. And there's things like bones and things like that, where a lot of immigrant food cultures are more used to that. But I think any type of food you can think of, the city has got it, which is a real blessing if you've been to other parts of the US where that's not the case.
Yeah, definitely. I love Korean barbecue. It's the best.
Yeah, I think so.
And also, except for the Korean food, what other like Asian cuisines do you feel like more attracting to you?
I think nowadays there's a lot of young Asian American restaurateurs and chefs who are trying out new things. So I could go through a whole list of traditional places, but I think one of the coolest new places is a spot called Ma'am Sir. It's a Filipino chef named Charles Alalia who was the head chef at Patina at Walt Disney Concert Hall. Really like fancy tasting menu type stuff. And he said, you know what, forget it. I want to cook what I grew up eating, Filipino food. And I want to make it the way that I kind of dream about, where it's infused with American and European cooking techniques. So you get like these amazing dishes that very clearly harken back to the food that you might find in Manila. But it's not traditional. And I think whether it's night market, that the chef there is a young guy who's Thai, but he's not cooking traditional Thai food. And there's amazing places to find all of those things, but I think those are two spots that I've been really digging lately.
Yeah. And with the huge Asian populations here, how do you think about the Asian food culture adapt into the American culture?
I think what's interesting is that a lot of the food you find here isn't diluted or changed to fit quote unquote American palates, right? So if you go to Koreatown, it's likely that you're going to find something that anyone from Seoul would recognize as being, how they eat it, or Mexican, or, pretty much any kind of food. So I think that it's very easy for one community to literally just go 2, 3, 4 miles and then to be immersed in the authentic foods and the way people eat of another culture. So it's very easy. I think though, if you still look at a place like Koreatown, a lot of Koreans do hang together. If you go to Boyle Heights, it's a Latino community that hangs tight. And I think that is something unique. It's not, when we say melting pot, it's not that everyone is together all the time in the same place. There are very distinct communities of ethnicities. But it doesn't matter because everyone goes everywhere else to eat. So I think that's a very unique bridge.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And people love the authenticity. Like that's like a buzzword for people now. They want to go have the most authentic experience that they possibly can. But there are a lot of fusion restaurants too. Can you talk to me a little bit about that trend of fusion?
So, you know, back in the 80s, even 90s, fusion meant a lot of white European chefs taking from Sichuan, from Vietnam, and just kind of throwing that into their French dishes or into their, you know, American dishes. And now fusion is a lot different. It's a guy like Charles who's not purposely saying, oh, I want to make Filipino American food. No, he's just saying, this is what I grew up eating. This is kind of how I want to serve it to my friends and my customers now. And so I think another good example is, if you guys are familiar with sundubu, the Korean tofu, soft tofu stew, that's an LA creation, really. That's very authentic because every Korean in this town eats it. But that's not really something you often find in Korea. So when we talk about authentic, I think there's a lot of layers to unpack, and it's not just, oh, is it a mix of cuisines or is it the original thing? The spectrum, especially in this city, is just crazy.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the beauty of living in LA. You get a taste of everything from the authentic and from everyone's twist that they put on it. Well, we can talk about food forever, but thank you so much for joining us today while we talked about Asian food and Asian trends in the US. Stay tuned next week when we discuss what popular Latin American dishes are on the rise in LA. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.